Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Wait, I can say welcome back, right? It's been a couple of years since I've done a video. Maybe some of you are coming back, but I'm sure a lot of you are going to see this for the first time. So let me start way back at the beginning and reintroduce myself and tell you what I've got planned for the channel going forward. So buckle up and let's get to it. Hi guys, my name is Kenny Long and this is the You Drive You Network. I have been in the trucking industry pretty much my entire life. Started as a little kid when my dad bought a dump truck, and as I went through high school helping him run an excavating company and then getting my CDL right out of high school at 18 years old, I kind of took over that company. I've never really been a company driver. I ran that company in Michigan for a few years, doing sanding, gravel, aggregate work, hauling heavy equipment, bulldozers and excavators, RGNs, flatbeds, that type of thing. And then I moved down to Florida in the early 2000s. In Florida, the industry is completely different. It wasn't what I knew. So I bought my first over-the-road tractor. I did some local work, hauling to retail stores and things, but decided eventually that it was time to go over the road. I had never been over the road before. I remember I didn't know how truck stops worked. I didn't know how showers worked. I never had a trainer. I've never been a company driver. I've never worked for anybody before. I've been a business owner as an owner-operator my entire life. So it was all new to me. I had to learn it myself the hard knocks way. So I leased to a couple of big carriers early on over the years. Found a home I was happy with one of the mega owner-operator carriers and did pretty well for a few years. But in 2009, I decided at 30 years old, I've always wanted to join the Army. Wonder what that would be like. And then I met a recruiter. I thought it was going to be more fun, but they signed me up as a truck driver, believe it or not. So sure enough, I got to spend a year in Iraq driving trucks. Fortunately, just before I left, I met my wife, Elizabeth. We got married just before I was deployed. And the entire time I was over there, we had talked about the business. Starting the business, maybe I should lease the truck back to a mega fleet again. But she wanted to travel. I thought, well, I could train her. But the mega fleets, they won't let you train until you've been with them again. I had to pretty much start over. Even though I had 10 years with them prior, I broke my contract because I had to get deployed. So they would have started me as brand new again. I had to get new experience. So we decided, you know what? Let's start our own carrier. So in 2012, while I was still in Iraq, we closed the gates literally on Iraq, shook hands with the Iraqi army through the gates in Kuwait. And while I was still over there, I got online and filed the paperwork and started Patriot Star, our carrier. So I came home in 2012, and I remember our very first load was a load of watermelons that we got through a broker from Florida up to Michigan, our very first load. This was the very first time Elizabeth had ever been in a truck. So it was fun, exciting, and new, and we were on the road traveling together, doing all the exciting stuff that I never really did by myself. For the first time, I had her with me, and we actually saw things that were beyond just the windshield. We'd stop and actually explore. We were paid tourists for a while. So we went to a lot of the sites. You know, I've been to Niagara Falls. We went to the Grand Canyon. We've been to Mount Rushmore. And we drove the truck to all these places. We've been to every state now. And it's been a lot of fun. So we started in 2012. In 2014, we decided, you know, there are some other owner-operators that could use some help. There was some people that we knew in a lease purchase that were just getting raked over the coals. At the time, we were coaching some people, we were helping some people, but we had an opportunity to bring them on as owner-operators and get them out of a bad deal they had with this big fleet that was taking advantage of them. So we arranged for them to purchase a truck, not from us, through a third party, and they brought that truck over to us, and they were our first owner-operators. So in 2014, we added our first owner-operator, and we started to grow from there. we grew up to 25 trucks at one time. In 2018, we had 25 trucks. We were doing vans, flatbeds, reefer, running all over the country. We had drivers all over the country, domiciled in states everywhere. And we were allowing self-dispatch, working off the load boards. I got a lot of experience working with different brokers, setting up all the different carrier packets, negotiating a lot of negotiating. And we had some direct customers at this point. In fact, shortly after starting Patriot Star, we had our first customer that I had brought over from before I even deployed. It's somebody that I knew previously, and we almost immediately started working with them. It was just Elizabeth and I, one truck operation at the time, and we had our very first very first direct customer. So we expanded from that, and now we were growing. We had a decent sized fleet, and in roughly 2017, we had so much direct customer work actually that we decided that even with 20 to 25 trucks, our trucks were never where we needed them, when we needed them to be there. It was very difficult to manage our customers, keep our customers happy, even though we had a reasonably decent sized fleet at this point. So we decided that it was time to start a brokerage, add a brokerage arm to the business. So that's what we did. And I can tell you that that opened up an entire new perspective on the business for us. It was sitting on the other side of the negotiation table. We already had the sales side down because we already had direct customers, but that relationship with the customers changed a little bit. And now we still had our own drivers to take care of with our carrier, but we were now opening up to outside drivers, and we had to work with them. Now, I come from a place where I'm trying to coach drivers and help drivers. So when I'm brokering to them, I'm also offering some of those services. So we're helping those drivers to get better loads and to take care of our customers and help our own carrier drivers. So we had a lot going on. And we were learning a lot, and our perspective had changed a whole lot. We were involved with Kevin Rutherford at the time. We got to the point where I was actually speaking at some of his events, and we also were invited to speak at events for DAT, for Freight Waves. And in 2017, we decided, you know what, we need to do more. So I actually rented the Harrah's Event Center in Kansas City, Missouri, and we put it on a 3-day event of our own. We had a great turnout. And that was intended to be an every year event. It was in 2017, at the end of 2017. In 2018, we skipped that year with the intention of starting in 2019, and as that pushed through the year, it started to look like it'd be 2020, and then we all know what happened. The world ended. That changed everything. That changed trucking. That changed our business. That changed probably all of your businesses. For most carriers right now, I'd imagine there are a lot of new carriers that might be watching me. So if you are new, there is a lot of information that I can bring to you from pre-COVID to current times, and there's a lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities as well that will help you understand the current market you're in. So that is why I thought it'd be a great time now to bring the channel back. So that brings us pretty much to current time. I run a carrier, I run a brokerage, and I run You Drive You, which is my company that I'm running this channel under, and I also do some coaching and some driver compliance and a whole lot of different stuff going on. With this channel, I hope to encourage you. There will be a lot of times where I'm going to ask you to think out of the box, because it is my opinion that most people are limited by their thoughts and beliefs and their perspective and their focus on what they're trying to achieve. My goal will be to help you reach your goals by helping you break through those barriers. I know there are a lot of people that have a lot of questions. I run a Facebook group called Rates and Lanes. I've been running that group since 2014. I'm active over there. I've been active. I didn't take a break from that. And there are a lot of questions over there that I'll be answering here on the video. There's a lot of data that I'll be sharing about the market conditions. There are a lot of techniques about how to run your business. Negotiation tactics, that's probably the biggest thing that I can help you with. And then I'm also at some point going to take you out to the shop. We're going to talk about how to work on trucks, best practices, some maintenance tips, and I'm sure that we'll talk about some customer acquisition. We'll talk about how to handle some situations on the road. I'll probably take you on the road with me because I do drive as well occasionally still. So get ready. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot more to come. I have a novel of topics that I want to cover, but this is where I wanted to start. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for joining me for the first time. Again, my name is Kenny Long. Let's make some things happen. And I'll see you on the next one.